I just recently heard about this very tragic story right here, and I wanted to bring some attention to it because I don't think it's going to get that much traction. But then I'm also going to address a grievance I have with the story because it actually lines up with some other things that I've talked about on my channel as far as fake outrage goes and misdirection of outrage. But anyway, this young lady's name was Oluwatoyin Salau, and she was 19 years old and she was a protester. And they recently found her dead in Tallahassee after she went missing. Now I'm gonna go ahead because I don't want to get the story incorrect, and I'm gonna go ahead and read the article. Then I'm gonna show you the picture of the person who was involved with her murder. And then I'm gonna get into why I believe a lot of people are giving fake outrage behind this and not actual genuine outrage. Olat- Oluwatoyin Salau, a 19-year-old protester who begged for justice in the wake of Black Lives Lost, has died. Police and her family confirmed the death Monday morning. Salau was found dead Saturday night after she went missing more than a week ago on June 6, family members told the Tallahassee Democrat, part of the USA Today network. Salau was police identified the suspect as Aaron Glee Jr., age 49, who had been arrested twice recently for violent offenses. However, investigators have not released a motive or any other details about what led to the double homicide. There is no justice that can be served that will replace my sister's life, her brother Oluwaseyi Salau said. The last time Denaya Hemphill saw her friend was the day before she went missing. They were at a Friday afternoon protest. We were all together 1 minute and the next minute our friend was gone. Hemphill felt a heavy unease in the days after her friend was reported missing. I had a feeling that we were not going to find Toyin alive, said Hemphill, age 22. At each demonstration, Salau had been reciting the names of black people killed, such as Tony McDade of Tallahassee and George Floyd of Minneapolis. I don't want their names gone in vain, Salau said during one protest in front of Tallahassee Police Department last month. I had a feeling that we were not going to find Toyin alive, said Hemphill, age 22. Hemphill didn't think her friend's name would even join that list. Toyin was very passionate. She was very vocal. She was very loving, very spiritual, and very caring. She was like a light in a dark room. That was Toyin. Though she went missing June 6th, newly surfaced surveillance footage shows on Wednesday, June 10th, Salau walked into a Big Easy Snowballs in Tallahassee, according to owner of the ice cream shop. She asked to use the restroom. That was the last known day she was seen alive. I don't know what in the world happened to Toyin. The afternoon she went missing, Salau tweeted a man molested her that morning around Park Avenue and Richville Road. She said the man offered to give her a ride back to a church where she sought refuge because of unjust living conditions. He came disguised as a man of God and ended up picking me up in front of nearby Saxon Street, she tweeted. I trusted the Holy Spirit to keep me safe. Salau says she called police after the assault happened. She did not specify the church where she had been staying. Several people replied to her on Twitter offering her help and asking where she was okay, and she never responded. Her friends, her close friends say that this wasn't the only time she was molested. Salau was also molested a few days before she went missing, Hemphill and two other friends said. They met up with Salau at the church where she had been seeking refuge. That Thursday, she went with me to the church. She talked to a lawyer and she spent a while there, said friend Ashley LeRae. She kept crying. Along with police officers, Salau and friends went to the house where she'd escaped from Florida A&M to gather her belongings. She'd been a victim of sex trafficking in that house multiple times, her friends say. A disoriented and sobbing Salau shuffled into the house with her friends and scooped up her belongings. I personally feel like they could have investigated and gotten DNA, said LeRae. That's where they failed her. She could still be alive. The cop told LeRae they would need to gather more evidence on the assault that night. She slept in Hemphill's bed. Glee, who is the person who did it, and I'm going to show his picture eventually, was arrested on May 29th on a charge of aggravated battery after an officer stopped at a light spotted him kicking a woman in the stomach, according to police reports. The victim in that case was neither Sims nor Salau. The woman told police she and Glee had been drinking alcohol together and were walking down the sidewalk when he propositioned her for sex. She told him no, so Glee became angry, shoved her to the ground, and began kicking her in the abdomen. I had to stop right there and just pull his picture up. This is the guy right here who was responsible for that young lady's murder and, as far as I'm concerned, kidnapping and rape, as well as the other woman, the older woman. And he's also the one that's the person I'm talking about now with this other situation that happened before this. It says she told him Glee became so angry he shoved her to the ground and began kicking her in the abdomen. Online Leon County court records show a misdemeanor battery charge filed against him on June 6. However, those reports were not immediately available. Glee was arrested last year on a charge of possession of marijuana. However, prosecutors dropped it according to court records. I can honestly say that this is one of those monsters that should have stayed in jail from the time he committed his first crime. He did not need to be out on anybody's streets. Now, this is one of the black people that I don't feel bad for. Like, he needed to be dealt with accordingly the first time, but these are the type of people that they will continue to let out on the street. These are the type of people that they do not want to get aggressive with, but they'll keep them out there and keep them going as long as they're going after a certain demographic. So in that tone, he is definitely a trash individual, and I hope they throw the book at his ass for what he did, for all the crimes that he has committed. And this one right here should definitely be, in my opinion, murder one. Like, he killed 2 women with no remorse at all. Now I'm gonna go back to her picture and basically give my take on why I believe some people are displaying fake outrage about her death. So I just wanted to say, first off, before I go into what I'm about to talk about, I'm gonna offer my condolences to this woman's family, her friends, because that was a very devastating story right there. And I do agree with people in regard that this story should get way more attention than it should. It's definitely heartbreaking to actually hear something like that. Like, she was going through quite a bit. Like, for all we know, while she was out there protesting and crying out for justice and everything like that she could have been crying out for help for herself, to be quite honest. And she was only 19. Like, she was very young. She was just really getting her start in life. And, she really hadn't reached her full potential, in my honest opinion. So I offer my condolences to her, but also to the other woman as well who lost her life. She lived a full life, 75, and to have her life ended that way, in that violent, in a very violent way, is unspeakable. But now I have to go on the people that are, in my opinion, displaying fake outrage behind this. I actually heard about this story on Twitter, but I didn't think anything of it until I saw a post on Instagram, and that's what prompted me to make this video. And the reason why I said some people are doing fake outrage is because they're in essence doing some of the same things here that palm colored people were doing with David Dorn. If y'all remember, when David Dorn got killed, he got killed by a black guy and an accomplice who was also black. And they were basically saying, well, where's BLM at? They like to talk about how white people are oppressing them and white cops is killing them. But when a black person kills a black cop, then they don't do anything, or we don't hear anything and everything like that. Not realizing there were people out there that were protesting on the behalf of David Dorn. It's not their fault. The media doesn't pick it up, though. We know that the media likes stuff for sensationalism, and that's not something for them that will, quote unquote, stick, especially now in this climate that a lot of people have a very anti-cop rhetoric about them, so they could probably care less. So if they was to put it out there about David Dorn, they couldn't care less if a person was black or white or otherwise who killed him, and that he was black himself. He was a cop, and a lot of people don't care right now in this, I guess you can say, in this wave, this storm that we are currently, this climate, I should say, that we are currently in. It was messed up regardless, and they're definitely going to get the book thrown at them. I read through their charges. They got first degree everything. I even titled my video that. That segues me into that fake outrage with this. And this is something I've noticed, and those black feminists and those anti-black men haters could not wait for something like this to happen, because they probably would not have cared if this had happened any other way with another race of men. But when they found out it was a black man, they started pulling out that infamous Malcolm X quote: the most unprotected, the most this, the most this, the most that is the black woman. I saw that so many times floating around with this. I even saw someone use the quote from that Damon Young over at The Root when he was talking about black men are the white men of the community. And that was a black woman who left that as a comment in the comment section of that post that I'm talking about right now. See, what it is this one black man who is trash, by the way. He is trash. Who did this to this woman and to that other woman and to any other woman he came encounter with. That's who they should have focused their outrage on, just him. But because he's a black man, they have to throw the drift net onto every black man out there as if all of us are going out here and doing this to these women. It's bad enough that the media likes to hypersexualize men as if we are these sexual deviants that cannot control our urges. Even though if you look under the FBI crime stats, white men lead in rape at an exceedingly high amount every year, and have been probably since the crime stats have been on the table. But the minute that a black man has even just one black man, that throws a cloud on every black man. Like, we are not seen as individuals. And I talked about this before. We are not seen as individuals when a crime is committed by another black man. It gets thrown onto all of us. But if one black man does something positive or something good, they only acknowledge him one time. They don't say, oh, see, black men are good. They can do some good. They are a positive influence. They can be role models for kids and all types of, good stuff like that. That we don't hear that. But the minute this guy right here does what he did, oh, all black men are trash. Black men are the white men of the black community, and this, that, and the third. And to be honest, it didn't even have to take this to happen. Many of those who internalized that black men ain't shit rhetoric had already internalized it way before this happened. However, they were very silent when that young lady who was with that white guy, when he was abusing her. And I found out some more information about that. If you watch Seiji Hito's video, he did a video about her. This one, that girl, that 21-year-old, the one I did a video about her, the one with the white guy who was her boyfriend. They said that he was abusing her repeatedly, and her family was trying to get her to leave him, but she wouldn't listen. She kept trying to see the good in him. That's what he said in the story, and there was no good there, none, because he ended up killing her. But I don't see the same people who hate black men so much speak out against that. See, when you do not spread your anger evenly, if you are all about black women empowerment and speaking out for your sisters, and this goes for the black men too, because I think it was a black man that made that post, which prompted me to make this. You have some simps out here that will throw their own brother under the bus in hopes to get some brownie points. Let me tell you something. She's not feeling you. 9 times out of 10, she probably wants a zaddy, and you aren't it. Just being honest. But they were not speaking out about that. I didn't see that. And I probably won't. And that's okay. And that's fine, because I expect that. But all I'm saying is keep that same energy when it comes to the outrage. But see, the thing is, they've internalized their hatred for black men so much that when one messes up, we all mess up. And then they have the nerve to scream about, we need protection. Who wants to protect people who talk bad about them every chance they get? If anything, when y'all like to say black men are the white people of the black community, we going to start saying y'all are the white people of the black community, because y'all use nothing but palm colored talking points when it comes to us. All you got to do is just close your eyes, take the vernacular out of some of your voices, whiten it up a little bit, and it's like hearing a palm colored person speak. Some of y'all will qualify so much to be with Fox News right now. Some of you claim that you don't even like Candace Owens when you are no different than her. She just has a bigger platform. Many of you probably are trying to work your way up to where she's at right now. Truth be told, we get tired of hearing that. And when y'all start to say stuff like that, it takes away from what happened to her. At this point, now it's no longer about the victim. It's now about, we got to talk all this crap about black men every chance we get. And we're not going to stop until we are ready to stop. And the thing is, y'all aren't ready. Y'all go on a marathon. Like the Energizer Bunny, you keep going and going and going. You can never just take it out on the one individual that it needs to be taken out on. You have to throw that blanket over everybody else. And whenever they quote that Malcolm X quote, you know what I'm talking about, that thing, they always direct that towards black men, but it's not black men putting policies in place that's keeping you out of certain places. I said, when I hear that, y'all, I swear some of y'all are no different than those PC supremacists, those feminists in that academy. Because they all say the same thing, but they all word it and package it differently. But it all goes and rolls back to the same conclusion of quote unquote black men ain't shit. That's very funny coming from some people that ain't shit themselves. So now we're at a standstill. We just ain't shit together. And it's funny that a lot of people love to say that black men ain't this, black men ain't that. What do you think them palm colored people are saying about you? But rest in peace to this woman and to that other woman. Throw that piece of crap that did this in jail and make sure he stays there. Like, I don't know what the incompetence is down there with them allowing this man to continue to get out of jail. But like I said, it's clear he's a domestic terrorist. That's what we might as well call him. But now he's gone too far, so maybe now he'll actually stay his ass in jail.